certainly has the potential to shake up the championship standings a bit, because Chris Slater, who is second in the points, is on pole position with Ollie Wayne, his teammate, alongside him. Craig Durrant is on row 2 alongside Anthony Beck, with James King and Aaron Hayes making up the third row. Christopher Boland and Ashley Hobson are on row 4, whilst Michael Clough and Dan Hardwick round out the top 10. Here we go then. Red lights are about to come on. The 11th round of the E-Armed Forces Racing Challenge about to get underway, and it does now get underway as Chris Slater launches off pole position, which is not always the best place to start here at Brands Hatch. He's made a good start though from the inside this time. It's Wayne again who's not off the line all that well. Look, it's Craig Durrant in second, and as Chris Slater runs wide, Craig Durrant challenges for the lead now, going towards Druid's corner, and I think he's going to do more than challenge. He will take the advantage, and James King comes up the inside of Chris Slater as well. Well, there you go. That was not in the script for the RAF Motor Racing squad, how to turn a front row lockout into third and fourth after the first couple of corners, although that might now become second and third, because running way wide is James King from second place. They're all struggling on cold tyres. These cars are lethal on cold tyres, and I think a few of them are just finding out how little grip they've got here on the opening half a lap. It's Durrant that leads them then as they go onto the Grand Prix circuit for the first time. Chris Slater second, Ollie Wayne fending off the whole world, it seems, for third.
Oh, and there's been a bit of coming together there, hasn't there?
Yeah, that was... So Steve Ward got collected by someone, and I think the someone was Aaron Hayes. Wow, there was contact actually beforehand, wasn't there? And then there was a second slap in the side, and Aaron Hayes continued. So actually, maybe Aaron doesn't need to feel too guilty about that. He was tapped into the spin initially, and then as he came back on the road, nice avoidance there from Linda Noble, who I was just about to mention has finished more races than not this year. She's had a best finish of 10th place a couple of times, and she picked up an extra few places there as well. Battle joined here at the front though, look, John, and we have now had a change of lead.
Yeah, Chris Slater has regained the lead, hasn't he, from Chris Durrant there.
Yes, now Craig Durrant could do with this race win, because he is a little bit further back in the championship. 99 points for Durrant in 5th position. Compare that to Chris Slater's 129, and you can start to see the difference there that Durrant needs to try and make up. However, Durrant has had 2 non-finishes, so he's not dropping any of his points, whereas Chris Slater, as we said, is dropping those 3 points from last time out. He might be about to drop the lead as well, because Craig Durrant has a really good exit there from Stirling's, goes to the outside into clearways. It's tough to go the long way round here though. That's the dirty side of the road. You've got to be really brave to make this move stick, but he might just do it. He's got his nose ahead. He's carrying good momentum across the start-finish line. Slater drifts up the track to try and get the side draft, wheel to wheel for the race lead into Paddock Hill Bend, one of the most daunting corners in British motorsport, and Chris Slater gets it back again. Brilliant dicing between the two of them. Slater runs a bit wide. Durrant sees a gap back up the inside at Druids, but Chris Slater was very quick to get across and defend that. Brilliant racing there. Now, 4 and a bit minutes to go. This is where things start getting quite tasty here, I think, between Chris Slater and Craig Durrant, as if they haven't been tasty enough already, but they've got this big gap now over the third place battle, so they're free to fight amongst themselves without worrying about coming under pressure from those behind, and that's exactly what Chris Slater intends to do, because he goes to the outside of Durrant through Hawthorne. You can't overtake round the outside at Hawthorne, especially whilst they're going past a back marker. He's still there. He's on the outside into Westfield. This takes remarkable skill, and there is a bit of contact. They just about get away with it, and Chris Slater, by the skin of his teeth, survives and gets the race lead. That was a phenomenal bit of driving, John. I don't think I've ever seen anybody pull that move off successfully in real or virtual racing. I've seen it tried on a number of occasions. It almost always ends up with at least one, maybe both cars off in the gravel.
But it's going to be very close. Durrant's got the inside line again, and being held off by Slater, but Durrant's got through. Yeah, he's made it. He's got through back into the lead again. This is exciting stuff.
It is Slater that leads, and Craig Durrant is down to third. What's happened to Craig Durrant? Anthony Beck is into... That's Craig Durrant. I think I saw him in the barriers there on the left-hand side of the road. Going, no, he's still there in third, so one of his teammates was in the barriers then. Excuse me, that must have been Matt Banyard, but this is what happened between the leaders. Oh, and it was one touch too many, and Durrant flies off into the barriers. That looked like maybe a bit of that dreaded netcode, and look at that, Matt Banyard, in avoiding his teammate, spins off into the barriers as well. So what a disastrous couple of corners that was there for the Army team.
Indeed, and especially for Craig Durrant, although it could have been so much worse actually, because he did actually spin round so he was facing the right way, and because they had a 6-second lead over Anthony Beck, it's probably kept him in the running, hasn't it? But Chris Slater now has some clear water ahead of him.
You are right though, John, because oh no! Well, I was going to say Durant's still back in it, but he's off again now, coming out of Surtees' corner. So he was still in contention to get back at least onto the podium, but a second spin at the same piece of road means he's dropped down to 7th place now, because James King and Michael Clough and Dan Hardwick have all gone through. But on the final lap of the race, which is probably a bit of a relief for Craig Durant, because he would rather if this race was over now, a race we were enjoying so much until that late contact between he and Chris Slater. Chris, by the way, was very lucky to get away with that too, because once the cars sort of glitch into each other like that, it's rare that both drivers are able to continue as they were, but Slater was the one that came out better from that. He is going to come into the final couple of corners, and he is going to take the checkered flag for the second time this season. Chris Slater is on the top step of the podium, and a much needed one as well, because provisionally this will give him the championship lead. It is a second win of the season for Chris Slater and the RAF Motor Racing team here at Brands Hatch. Anthony Beck again plays that waiting game and gets a solid second place, with Ollie Wayne third, James King fourth, and Clough in 5th position. Now, Dan Hardwick should be 6th. Yes, he is, with Craig Durant coming across the line in 7th place. A disappointing race that for Durant. Grid then is up here ahead of our reverse grid race for the night. It's Simon Devine and Richard Palmer on the front row ahead of Ashley Hobson and Kevin Downer. Craig Durant and Dan Hardwick on row 3. Durant one to watch here for sure, with Michael Clough and James King on the 4th row. Ollie Wayne, Anthony Beck and Chris Slater were our podium finishers from race 1, so they're 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th respectively, with Simon Skirton, the one that missed out on the reverse grid, in 12th. Darren Berris and Aaron Hayes are on the 7th row ahead of Jonathan Candler and Christopher Boland. Linda Noble, Daniel Smith, Steve Ward and Matthew Banyard will round out the 20 starters, hopefully. Matt Banyard looking just to get to the end of this one, ideally. Right then, red lights are on. We're about to go. Simon Devine and Richard Palmer are not on the front row of the grid. It's Ashley Hobson that has got the pole position then, because those two missed the start, and he gets an absolutely terrible getaway. So it is Craig Durant who will get his nose ahead going into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Second place should be Hobson, but Kevin Downer tries to go around the outside. One or two of them popping the curve on the inside line there. But Craig Durant has done exactly what he did in race 1. Gets out of Paddock Hill Bend in the lead. We've got Matt Banyard, I'm afraid, off the road towards the back of the field. Simon Devine has started from the pit lane, and there's more tyre smoke coming through Druid's corner. That's like Simon Skirton, Ollie Wayne and Dan Hardwick have been involved in contact further back. There you can see the end of that shunt coming out of Druid's. Poor old Ollie Wayne has no luck at all, does he? Through Surtees for the first time, then Durant with the lead, Ashley Hobson in 2nd position. So it is an Army Esports 1-2. Got into a real tank slapper going out of Hawthorne, and it took him all the way until Westfield to get it gathered together. Not only did he save it, but he held on to 2nd place, and he hasn't dropped that much time to the leader. Off into the barriers, heavily goes Kevin Downer, and also Jonathan Candler, who spins in sympathy. Cold tyres, too much speed. They got on the grass. Both of them ending up getting fired into the barriers. That is a great shame. They'll both need to pit for repairs. And Slater has a little look up the inside. In fact, this time it's a more concerted effort to go through. He's up the inside. He's got the inside line for Westfield, and then it will be the run down into Dingledale that he loves so much. He's already got the move made, though. He forces Clough over the curb, and James King sees a chance now to try and take advantage of that loss of momentum. Can't quite get there, though, so Slater goes 3rd, Clough down to 4th. The gap, though, between Slater and the leading 2 is over a second now, and this is where Hobson has to start asking himself some pretty difficult questions. He would probably not want to attack his teammate here unless he absolutely has to, but with Slater arriving on his tail and Durant making mistakes, there is a risk here that Hobson could find himself getting knocked off the podium potentially by the end, because Clough and King are not that far behind Slater either, so this has the potential going into the final 5 minutes now to really start punching together. Hobson's had a really good exit from clearways. He's got no choice but to attack now. He pulls to the left-hand side of the road. He knew that Durant was always going to defend the inside line into Paddock Hill Bend. Now, can Hobson either go right round the outside, or more realistically, cut back, get the late apex, which he does, carries good speed down the hill. Can he get up the inside into Druid? I don't think he's quite close enough. Craig Durant should just about hang on, but look at the way this battling here, John, has allowed Chris Slater to close in. I think Hobson is genuinely quicker than Craig Durant here, and if the Army want to get a race win, they might have to let the driver that is further down in the championship go through, but it's too late because Slater is up the inside for second place now, and he takes P2 away straight away. Didn't waste any time, gets a bit of a tap in the tail, runs wide on the grass. Can he hang on to it into Sterling's? Well, Hobson's going to try and come right back round the outside, and Hobson is good through this part of the circuit. He's got himself back in front, and Michael Clough and James King are right there with them too. This has disaster written all over it, quite frankly. 4 drivers under a very small blanket going into clearways. The order as they come out of clearways is Hobson second, Clough third, but now Chris Slater is fighting back. He's up the inside of 1, he's up the inside of 2, 3 wide for second place, heading towards Paddock Hill Bend. This surely can't work. Who is last of the late breakers? It's going to be Slater on the inside, but there's contact and Chris Slater is off into the gravel trap. The championship leader, he went for a risky move. He's got away relatively unscathed, but he's dropped down to 6th, and he will now lose more places there to Christopher Boland and Aaron Hayes. Well, that was brave stuff there from Chris Slater, but you had the feeling there, didn't you, John, that was never going to end well. But Craig Durrant is going to come through now out of the final corner to take his 2nd victory of the year. It will be his 5th appearance on the podium, and a valuable race win to put himself back into title contention. Checkered flag for Durrant. 2nd is almost a dead heat, but it's Michael Clough by 56 one-thousandths of a second who hangs on to the 2nd place. James King in 3rd gets some solid points. I don't think that will be enough for him to take the championship lead. I'll do the quick maths in a moment, but certainly it gets him closer to the championship leader, Chris Slater, who finishes down in 8th place by the end because he let Aaron Hayes back through on the last laps, and they must have made contact.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.